Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy, and this video is on a full month of NXT results that was taped on this Thursday for the first month, and I believe this is how they're going to do this, taping once a month for the entire month. Very similar to how TNA does theirs on Monday and Tuesday for at least 2 to 3 weeks. And here we go with some brief, and I do mean very brief, news. I believe it was Rosa Mendez was involved in a car accident earlier this week, and she has reportedly was a high-speed car accident in Las Vegas on Friday. A car traveling around 50 miles an hour hit her Hummer that Rosa was driving in. And actually, she was a passenger. I misread that. The story notes that Rosa was treated for whiplash injuries at the hospital and will further be evaluated by WWE doctors. And you can see the whole story at WWE.com. And look for the article with Rosa Mendez involved in a car accident in Las Vegas. WWE.com story has pictures of the wreck. The Hummer suffered minor damage, since it's a tank anyways, sort of. But the vehicle it had hit was a mess. And here's to Rosa feeling better soon. Whiplash is no fun, and she will probably be out of wrestling action for at least a minor 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month. And finally, the NXT taping spoilers for a full month of upcoming shows, as I'm reading the results for y'all, featuring developmental talent and former TNA talent. As the first dark match was Xavier Woods defeating Dean Ambrose, and this was all taped at the Winter Park, Florida facility of Full Sail University. I have been to Winter Park myself back in the day, right after my graduation. I had an Olympic tryout for bowling, and there was a competition that was worldwide with now pro bowlers, Chris Barnes, and some other pro bowlers as well. And so I had some very stiff competition back in the day. And thanks to Joshua Perry for the results, and it was courtesy of PW Torch. But I had received this off of ProWrestling.net, so thank you ProWrestling.net for copying their results. Okay, after Xavier Woods defeated Dean Ambrose, and their advertised main event dark match was Sheamus versus Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship. Okay, on with the show. Back to the TV or whichever, because it's still unknown at the present time if it's going to be on TV. It's not confirmed yet if it is going to be on TV, but I did read somewhere it was still going to be on the network. Okay, episode 1. JR and William Regal are introduced as the commentary team, as stated earlier this week. And Dusty Rhodes was introduced as the new general manager of NXT. So I guess William Regal got a demotion, since the never-ending sending has not even ended yet, so it's unknown when they're going to officially pull this off. Match number 1, Bo Dallas defeated Rick Victor. Match number 2, Conor O'Brien and Kenneth Cameron defeated CJ Parker and Mike Dalton. Damian Sandow refused to wrestle in his match, very similar to the matches he's supposedly to be on SmackDown. And his match was supposedly to be against Jason Jordan. Okay, officially match number 3, Tyson Kidd defeated Michael McGillicuddy. Wow, they're sending them back to NXT. And that ended the first tapings. Okay, the second set of tapings is Byron Saxton replacing William Regal on commentary. Match number 1. Seth Rollins beat Gyro. Match number 2, Jinder Mahal defeated Jason Jordan by submission. Must have been the camel clutch. It's not stated. These are very brief results on this. Okay, match number 3 was Leo Kruger defeated Aiden English. Match number 4, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's son, Richie Steamboat, defeated Rick Victor. Match number 5, Antonio Cesaro defeated Dante Dash. Match number 6, Derek Bateman defeated Johnny Curtis. And that ended week 2, or episode 2 of the tapings. And now for episode number 3, R-Truth defeated Epico. Match number 2 for week 3, Sofia Cortez defeated Paige. Match number 3, Seth Rollins defeated Camacho. Match number 4, Jake Carter and Corey Graves defeated CJ Parker and Nick Rogers. Match number 5, and your main event for that show was Cassius Ohno defeating Mike Dalton. And the last taping, which is week number 4, fourth taping, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's son, Ricky Steamboat, defeated Leo Kruger. Match number 2, Jinder Mahal defeated Derek Bateman by submission, probably camel clutch with his finisher. Match number 3, Ascension defeated the Uso brothers. Unknown who Ascension, is it a team or a one-man person? One-man team? Let's have to wait and see. Match number 4, Bray Wyatt. Yeah, I was reading earlier this week there was a wrestler called Bray Wyatt. I wonder if they misspelled his name, but that's what he got. It could be Husky Harris's new name. Hawaiian type of cowboy character. Well, anyways, he defeated Aiden English. And your main event for that TV taping, Hunico Camacho and Michael McGillicuddy defeated Tyson Kidd, Seth Rollins, and Bo Dallas in 6-man action. And your main event dark match, Sheamus defeated Alberto Del Rio to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. And this wasn't a firm cutoff point, but the 3rd and 4th episode. So we're just guessing, since it was announced that they taped a full month of television, they will return next month. And now for Over the Limit results, aired live on pay-per-view. Also, the pre-show had 2 matches instead of the advertised 1. Okay, the event was held at Raleigh, North Carolina at the PNC Arena. Pre-show, match number 1, Zack Ryder versus Kane. They had several technical difficulties on the pre-show. The YouTube feed came in, and you seen Ryder hit the broski boot and set up the Rough Rider leg lariat, but Kane grabbed Ryder instead and hit the choke slam for the win. YouTube pre-shows seem to have serious issues. I've not been able to see the 2 myself. For the last 2, the last WWE pay-per-view I was here. This pay-per-view, since I have a new work schedule, I will just have to read the results, and hopefully I can find the show online somewhere in the near future. Maybe I can watch it as soon as I get done with the video, if I can pull it up, if it's still playing somewhere, to see for myself. I'll give you an update tomorrow night whenever I do Raw results, as I get off work at the same time, 11 p.m. Central Time. And this will be my schedule for the next 3 weeks? 3 weeks. Okay, and the second part, okay. Matt Striker and Josh Matthews ran down the card, set up the video, a video that recapped the antics of John Laurinaitis since becoming GM, and then how his match with John Cena came about. He was backstage with Cody Rhodes and Santino walking up. They bickered over which title was better. Eve cut them both off and said there will be a People Power Battle Royal, with the winner getting a title shot for whichever title that they wanted to compete in for later in the show. She said the match was up next. Santino made a pee-pee joke, and both men stormed off. Matt Striker and Matthews started trying to put over the Battle Royal when Michael Cole, Booker T, and Jerry Lawler all made their entrances to take over commentary. Cody Rhodes made his ring entrance, followed by Santino. Both men sat at ringside for the Battle Royal. And the second match of the pre-show, People Power Battle Royal, with the winner choosing which mid-card champion to challenge during the pay-per-view. The entrants were Great Khali, Miz, JTG, Ezekiel Jackson, Kurt Hawkins, Tyler Rex, Michael Miguel, Yoshi Tatsu, Tyson Kidd, Jimmy and Jey Uso, General Hall, Drew McIntyre, Heath Slater, Darren Young, Titus O'Neil, A-Rai, David Otunga, William Regal, who got a chant, and Christian, who returned to in-ring action. Two of these things are not like the others. Christian made his entrance at the end of the pre-show as a teaser. The match was joined already in progress on YouTube. The audio actually came up before the video, before the reporter. Rex and Hawkins worked together, and so did Young and O'Neil. Khali tossed a number of people out, including Rex and Hawkins at the same time. Young, O'Neil, and Miz teamed up to get rid of Khali. Christian tossed Regal and earned a serious heat for it. Darren Young botched his elimination from A-Rai, from a A-Rai drop kick, but finally went over. Miz tossed A-Rai right after, and your final four was Miz, Christian, Otunga, and Kidd. Kidd put on a clinic of moves, but Miz tossed him over. Kidd skinned the cat and grabbed Miz by the head, but Otunga kicked Kidd to cause the elimination. So that leaves Otunga, Miz, and Christian left. Well, Otunga and Miz cut a deal and attacked Christian. Miz missed his corner clothesline, and Christian tossed Otunga out. Miz attacked from behind and tossed Christian over to the apron. They sold several false finishes, but Christian eliminated Miz by hitting him through the corner. Christian gestured toward Santino, indicating his choice. And Christian won his People Power Battle Royal at 12 minutes 13 seconds, and will face supposedly Santino Marella for later on for the U.S. Championship. But wait for the results to see who he actually challenged. Decent Battle Royal that the Raleigh, North Carolina crowd liked a lot. Christian was finally back, I guess. I'm guessing from his choice of Santino, he's staying heel for now. We'll know more based on the match during the actual pay-per-view. The official pin for Over the Limit played, complete with pyro, and Miss Piggy Guerrero coming out and did her excuse me bit. She said hello to the board of directors and added she heard she was on the short list to replace John Laryngitis should he lose. She introduced her guys for our first and four title matches. Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler with Miss Peggy Guerrero versus R-Truth and Kofi Kingston for the tag team championships. Swagger and Kofi started things off. Kofi showed off his jump to tags in Truth. Truth did a ridiculous leg drop and locked in an armbar. Swagger pushed Truth back to the corner and tagged Ziggler. Ziggler lost control immediately. And Kofi tags in for a Superman punch for 2 count. Ziggler did his normal handstand headlock show off move. Truth tried to fight out, but Ziggler shoved the ref away to prevent the tag and tagged Swagger in instead. Swagger put Truth on the top, but Truth reversed it into a tornado DDT. Both men got tags, and Ziggler showed why he is the best in the business right now at making people look great. Kofi hit a high cross body, but Swagger broke the count. Ziggler hit the famouser, but Truth broke the count. Truth dove on Swagger onto the floor. Ziggler ran over, and Kofi hit the Trouble in Paradise that knocked Ziggler out of the air for the win. And R-Truth and Kofi Kingston retained the tag titles in a 12-minute, 38-second match. The match wasn't bad, but it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. Ziggler is held back big time. He sells better than anyone I've seen in years. He needs to be a champion of the babyface. He needs to be a champion that babyfaces can chase and beat the hell out of, only to win at the end. Kofi and Truth just don't feel special. Of course, on tag team feels special right now. Of course, they only got like 4 actual tag teams that are actually competing for the belts nowadays. Backstage segment with Tyler Rex and Kurt Hawkins telling Eve that they agreed to go into the crowd and confiscate any signs that were anti-laryngitis related. Eve asked Otunga if there was any legal problems with that, and Otunga said no. The tag teams left to do their job. Not sure why that was there. Match number 4. Beth Phoenix versus Layla for the Divas Championship. Layla went right at it with Beth and hit several quick kicks and drop kicks. Beth grabbed Layla's leg and hit a knee breaker on the injured leg. Okay. Beth worked it awkwardly on the post and rolled Layla in the ring. Beth hooked in a single leg Boston Crab, and the crowd could not appear to care less. Beth gorilla pressed Layla, but Layla reversed it into a nasty looking DDT for a 2 count. Beth reversed a move off the top rope and lifted Layla for a glam slam. Layla countered and rolled through it for a 1 count, but Beth rolled back and threw and grabbed the tights for a 2. Out of nowhere, Layla hit the layout for the win. Layla retained the Divas Championship in 7 minutes 9 seconds. It's a fairly good Divas match. I've seen better and I've seen worse. Reporter likes Layla and thinks she can work. She wasn't perfect there, but it was a better Divas match than we've seen in a long time. Surprised at the clean win for Layla. If for no other reason than do you go with her next? Backstage segment, Max Riker played the video of Sheamus defeating Randy Orton in front of Orton. Orton said the message he was trying to send was that Sheamus may have beat him in a fluke, but winning tonight would be a different story. He said if the roles were reversed, he would have eaten the road kick. Orton said that there were 4 men in the match tonight. Chris Jericho walked in at that point and interrupted, and Orton finished with, and none of us like each other. Jericho said that he liked Orton so much he watched his match with Sheamus. He said he enjoyed watching the 2 Neanderthals beat each other up. He said he was on a roll and would win the title tonight for the 7th time and prove that he is the best in the world at what he does. Orton said if Jericho got in his way, he would be the best in the world at getting RKO'd and losing. Orton then stormed off, and Jericho looked very nervous for some reason. And ring entrances occurred for the Fatal 4-Way with Del Rio out first, followed by Jericho, then Orton, then finally the champion, Sheamus. Alberto Del Rio with Ricardo Rodriguez versus Chris Jericho versus Randy Orton versus Sheamus for the Fatal 4-Way for the World Heavyweight title was up next. Bell rang and everyone started off. Well, it's a Fatal 4-Way. Heels attacked first. Babyfaces beat them down and out to the floor. Sheamus and Orton squared off. Del Rio and Jericho charged back in the ring. A fight spilled out to the floor, and the babyfaces slammed the heels into the barricades, then slid back into the ring to face off again. Sheamus beat Orton down, hit the ropes. Jericho pulled the ropes down, sending Sheamus to the floor. Jericho tossed him into the barricade. Both heels slid in the ring and attacked Orton together. They left Orton down and attacked Sheamus' injured arm. Then they went back to Orton in the ring, and Orton had a hot spot that Del Rio broke the count on. Del Rio covered Orton, and Jericho kicked him in the face to break the count. The heels then argued, and Del Rio hit a backbreaker on Jericho. Orton recovered and clotheslined Del Rio over the top, but Jericho hit an insecurity for 2. Del Rio slid back in, and they set up the Tower of Doom in the corner, but Sheamus knocked Jericho and Orton to the ground, then attacked Del Rio. Ricardo Rodriguez distracted Sheamus, and Del Rio hit his insecurity for 2 and attacked the arm again. Del Rio went for a drop kick, but Sheamus moved. Del Rio slid through the ropes, but Sheamus grabbed him from the forearms to the chest. And Sheamus hit them. I guess they're doing his beat down. And Jericho ran in and hit the springboard dropkick to knock both guys down. Orton immediately ran and hit his clotheslines, a power slam. He hit the draping DDT on Sheamus and set up for the RKO. Del Rio was back in the ring and hooked on a cross arm breaker on Orton. Jericho broke the count, and all 4 guys hit moves. Sheamus and Orton traded finisher misses. And Jericho ended up hitting a code breaker on Orton before hooking the walls of Jericho on Del Rio. Sheamus ran in and tried for a brogue kick on Jericho. Jericho ducked and hit a code breaker for a great near fall. Jericho hooked the walls on Sheamus. Orton broke it up with an RKO on Jericho. Del Rio broke that count, and Orton hit an RKO on him. Sheamus hit a brogue kick on Orton. Jericho rolled up Sheamus for a 2. Sheamus lifted Jericho on the next charge and hit the white noise for the win. That match took 15 minutes, 53 seconds. Wow, that was great. As a rule, I hate these multi-man singles matches, but they did a great job with it. Here, and the live crowd bought into all of it, making it even better. The best part is that they could still go anywhere with this. I'm assuming they still go with Orton, but the other door is wide open. Backstage segment, Cody Rhodes was talking with Eve. He put over Christian's winning, and he would bring prestige to the U.S. title. He said it was a good thing Christian picked Santino because Rhodes would have beaten him easily. Christian walked up and asked what they were talking about. Rhodes said he was telling Eve how great of a U.S. champion Christian would be. Christian said Rhodes was full of crap and he was changing his mind and would face Rhodes instead. Christian left and Rhodes sold being frustrated. Miz made his ring entrance and cut a promo about being a better dancer than Brodus Clay. He had his music play and danced like, well, you could only guess how bad it was. Clay and the Funkadelics made their entrance. The Miz versus Brodus Clay with the Funkadelics. Brodus sold 2 moves until the match spilled to the floor. Brodus went for a slam into the post, but Miz slid off and slammed Clay into the pole instead. Miz worked a rest hold as the dactyls failed to get the crowd chanting. Brodus hit his suplex from the top and followed with a splash for the win. No crowd reaction. After the match, Clay danced with some kids. Brodus defeated Miz in 4 minutes 12 seconds. This is what those who love the Funkasaurus character missed from the very beginning. The guy can't get over in the ring as a babyface. His entrance is great. In fact, it's so great I lost the sight of the fact that he couldn't get over in the ring as a babyface. But this match proved it. He's in a tough spot here. It's too soon to run in the run for a turn. But this act is dead in the water after he rips his pants off. And then he does his little leg shake. Thinks he's Elvis at that point. Kurt Hawkins and Tyler Rex were in the crowd stacking signs away from fans. Cody Rhodes made his entrance and cut a promo about how his dad Dusty wouldn't let him come to shows in North Carolina as a kid. He said Dusty told him he would know why one day, and Cody said it was because we were short-sighted because we liked him facing Christian. Okay. Christian versus Cody for the Intercontinental Championship. Match starts fast and took on a TV match pace. Christian hit a drop kick through the ropes and a superplex to show that he is healed. Christian hit his pendulum kick and missile drop kick for a close 2 count. Christian went for a tornado DDT, but Cody shoved him off and hit a moonsault for a 2. Cody started mouthing off to the crowd, so Christian hit the kill switch for the win. That match took 7 minutes and 8 seconds. Okay, yep. That was your sleeping match of the night. You could even store during that. That's how much the crowd was into the match. Okay, both guys did what they could. There was no drama in the match. Christian winning does nothing for him at this point, and other than confirming his babyface turn that happened. I guess on the show, Cody loses again to take even more heat off of him. This has been a good show, but the decision was weak. But Christian is your new Intercontinental Champion. Backstage segment where Josh Matthews played a video of Daniel Bryan setting up CM Punk with Kane's attack from SmackDown. Punk cut a promo and said, if someone has told Vince McMahon 10 years ago that the main event on one of his pay-per-views would be for the WWE Championship would be CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan, his head would have exploded. Punk said the match should be enough for both of them, but it wasn't because Bryan has changed. He said the match would be more than a 5-star classic. He started to say more, but AJ walks up looking good and said this was going to be fun to watch. She wished Punk good luck. Punk looked confused, but walked off as AJ did her sultry, crazy smile. That's what it looked like to me when they did it on SmackDown and Raw earlier this week. Okay, the match was up next. Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk for the WWE title. The crowd got real hot fast. Punk tied up Bryan's legs and the ropes, and Bryan made a legitimate tweak. He may have legitimately tweaked the knee as it looked rough. Punk hooked a leg lock. Bryan rolled it over and hit elbows to escape. Bryan missed a drop kick, and Punk curb stomped him for 2. Punk hit a knee breaker and tossed Bryan to the floor. He tried a baseball slide, but Bryan ducked and slammed Punk into the barrier. Punk dropped. Okay, this was weird. The writer said Punk dropped himself across the barricade, and Bryan then kicked him off. Okay, wonder how that would look on the pay-per-view. Brian sold the leg and rolled Punk in the ring for a missile drop kick and then a 2. Brian locked in a seated abdominal stretch. And Cole sold the attack from Kane, hurting Punk's core. Brian hit a couple of knee lifts and locked in the surfboard. He dropped the arms and pulled the head back in. A very uncomfortable looking position. Punk rolled to his belly and hit elbows to escape. Brian hit 2 knee drops, but Punk moved on to third, and they traded blows in the middle of the ring. Brian hit a snap suplex and climbed up to the top rope, and went for a headbutt, delivered it for a 2. Brian went back to a rest hold. Punk then fought out, and both men hit cross bodies on each other at 13-minute mark. Punk went on a string of strikes and hit a rolling neck breaker. Punk went for the high knee. Brian kicked him and charged back. Punk hit a power slam for a 2. Brian rolled out to the floor. Punk hit a dive, but Punk rolled him back in the ring and went to the top and jumped off. Brian drop kicked him out of the air for a 2 count. Brian hit several kicks and said delivered Borgasm chants with each blow. Punk grabbed the last one and flipped Brian down to lock in a figure 4. The 2 men sat up and traded blows. Punk wrenched back and Brian fell back. He dragged him over to the ropes and Punk held on until 4 count. Because, when they get to 5, that's a disqualification. They traded several submission reversals, with Brian hitting a stiff kick for a 2. This brought a "This is awesome" chant. That's rare for WWE. Copyright infringing, TNA. Brian pulled his knee pad down and hit several knee strikes in the corner. He set up Punk on top and then climbed up top. Punk knocked him down on the rope and followed with a springboard clothesline for a near fall. They traded finisher setups, but Punk hit the roundhouse kick for a leg on the rope near fall at 21 minutes 8 seconds. Punk slammed Brian and hit the top rope elbow. Punk sold the ribs, being hurt and couldn't cover. Brian went crazy and hit a knee drop until the ref pulled him off. Punk then stood in the corner and Brian charged for a drop kick. Punk moved and hit a high knee in the corner. He then came out for the bulldog, but Brian grabbed the arm and hooked the Borgasm lock on him in the middle of the ring. Brian wrenched back 3 times. On the third, Punk kicked back and pinned Brian. Punk tapped just after the ref slapped the mat for the third count. But the replay clearly showed the pinfall happening before the tap. Brian protested in the ring as Punk celebrated on the stage. Punk retained the title at 24 minutes and 2 seconds. Great match. If this match had half of a story behind it, it would be talking about it and beating Triple H versus Undertaker from WrestleMania. As it stands, it shows that great wrestling can only get you so far. This needed a better story. I'm confused with the AJ appearance. I guess the finish will be enough to put them back in the ring together again. And that's where we see AJ do whatever it is she's doing. See this match, but be warned, the finish leaves you hanging just a little. Backstage segment with Eve and David Otunga walking up, smiling to Teddy Long. They teased Teddy and assured him that he wouldn't be put back in charge if Johnny lost. Teddy said he thought that they might be put in charge. He said he also thought that they might be fired if Johnny was. Hunico Camacho made their entrance. Hunico said everyone was talking about Camacho's opponent, but Camacho was going to show them how they handle business in the barrio. And Ryback comes out next. Camacho with Hunico versus Ryback was then announced. Hunico managed to interfere to get Ryback down once, but Ryback ended up killing him, and Camacho for another squash victory. Okay, announce team sets up the main event as the video recap played. Ace's music played, and he came to the ring in a tracksuit. John Cena was out to a huge pop, and your main event, John Laurinaitis versus John Cena. Winner can only be determined by pinfall or submission. Anyone who interferes will be fired. If Laurinaitis loses, he's terminated. The bell rang, and Ace bolted from the ring. He tried to jump the rail, but Cena caught him and rolled him back to the ring. Ace tried to kick, but Cena grabbed his foot and hit a clothesline. Cena pulled Johnny's shirt up and hit a chop on his chest and then his back. Cena lifted him up for the attitude adjustment, but did an airplane spin instead. Johnny then fell from the ring. Cena grabbed the bell and rung it in Johnny's ear a few times. He slammed him all over the announcer's table and then put him in the Spanish announcer's table chair with the headset on. Cena put on the other and said he would be Cole and Johnny would be Booker T. Cena then says, vintage laryngitis. And Ace said 5 times before passing out. Cena went to throw Ace back in the ring and drove him sternum first into the apron. Ouch! He finally got him in the ring and got a mic. Cena said he was going to put Ace in STF. He says if Ace tapped, he was fired. Cena said he would break the hold if Ace could last 10 seconds. He had the crowd chant for him. Ace made it. Cena said the good news was he made it. The bad news is going to happen again. Once again, Ace made it. Cena went and got some water bottles and poured them on Ace, which woke him up, and poured another bottle in his pants. He dumped a trash can on him and hit the trash can. Cena got a fire extinguisher and hosed Johnny down. Johnny tried to escape over the wall again. Cena grabbed him, but Johnny dropped the arm on the railing. Cena sold it with the bad arm. Johnny then jumped back over the rail and slammed the arm on the announcer's table. Cena rolls back in the ring and Ace grabbed a chair. He hit the arm a few times and covered for 2. He grabbed the chair again, but Cena snatched it away and hit Ace in the leg with it. He did "You Can't See Me" with the chair and tried to stand Johnny up, but Ace hit him in the nuts. Johnny finally escaped through the crowd at 13 minutes 33 seconds. Big Show popped out of the curtain, dragging Ace back to the ring. He threw him into the ring and stepped on his hand when Ace tried to leave. He grabbed Johnny by the throat and Johnny begged off. Show nodded and shoved him to Cena. Cena then lifted him up for the attitude adjustment, and Big Show hit the WWE on Cena. Swerve! For the heel turn, Ace took about 30 minutes to recover, and finally crawled over and pinned Cena to end the pay-per-view. And John Laurinaitis defeated John Cena in 16 minutes 54 seconds in the match. Honestly, if you didn't see that coming, you might want to get checked out by a professional. I'm not even sure what to write here because it was so painfully obvious what the finish would be. I predicted this earlier in the week myself, as my other option was a surprise from Matt Morgan since his TNA contract is up. So that's basically it. Life goes on in WWE as normal. Just so predictable. Ended up to being a good card once it was all said and done. It's funny to think that they announced 5 matches and we ended up getting 9 on the pay-per-view itself. 10 counting the pre-show. The top title matches were very good, and it was nice to see Christian back. The main event delivered well for the live crowd, I'm sure. But it was a TV garbage match for us at home. Overall, this was worth seeing, but I can't go as far as recommending the replay. Buy the Punk versus Bryan match and the Fatal 4-Way for $2.99 on iTunes, and that will suffice. And that ends my pay-per-view results and NXT for this month. And thank you for viewing. Stay tuned for Monday Night Raw on tomorrow night whenever I get off work. Thanks for viewing and have a nice night. And God bless everyone in the world, no matter who you are, where you are, what color, what race, creed. I don't discriminate. God bless us all. Thank you. Good night.